So, I believe last time we had Zerx as our scribe,
Oh, I already posted it.
and this week, Zequine, you would be scribe. Are you okay with that?
I can give it a go.
Alright. So, Zerx, do you want to give us a quick recap of what happened last week?
Hold on. Let me pull it back up. So last week, four of us were captured, and Zach and Scurry were attempting to figure out how to rescue us. And Scurry put his own plans in motion, but Zach's felt it was more urgent than needed to be. So that she sent a rescue party to come get us, or she decided to go out and venture to rescue us with the help of a druid from the surrounding area. Don't remember their names. I'm sorry. Uh,
Fedloy was the druid.
Fedloy. One second. So they managed to rescue us without killing a single person and just stuffed them in the rocks.
Oh, do we lose him?
Nalo, yeah. So
Uh,
I'll just wait. I'll just wait till he gets back. He's the one.
well,
He's
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure if he was even here, because he wasn't answering me.
he was. He's on his phone right now. He's trying to get to his hotel.
Well, I mean, we also have the. Oh, is he back?
Yeah.
You there, Nalo? Alright, well, go ahead, continue, because I do want to get started.
Okay. So as they were sneaking in, they were able to rescue us, and they let us out of the cage, and we decided to try to sneak into Orchard's chamber. And upon doing so, we were encountered by the Hot Goblin, which was his name was. I'm sorry. Again. I did not write down names. I apologize for that.
That was. That was Erdul.
Erdul, who, after being dogpiled upon us, said he would have just brought us there if we'd asked, but he was not too pleased about him being jumped. So we got brought to Orchard and attempted to negotiate alliance of sorts, but he seemed on edge about having to keep his soldiers in line and save face. So we were put back into the jail cell for the evening, and that's where we left off. After towards the end of the session, we were met upon a drow that was showing interest in the party.
Am I?
Yeah, that was Iara. Nalo, are you there?
I'm here now. Yeah. What's up?
Alright, just
Is that
checking.
good?
You sound very garbled.
Yeah, sorry. I think it's just my connection's not the greatest.
Alright, well, that's fine. We'll just work with it. So, the group is in the cell. You've been waiting. Let's see. It's about 5 o'clock. So, since you're prisoners, there's not much you can do, so I'm just going to pass time as you wait to see what happens. It is. Well, actually, before I do that, do any of you want to speak with each other or do any RP in the cell?
Not at the moment. I'm good.
Zaquan
Alright.
just wants to make sure nobody's looking at her.
Well, that would be kind of up to them, but the guards definitely are keeping an eye on you all from a distance, as well as watching behind them to make sure no one sneaks up on them and knocks them out again. So time passes, and at around, I'll say, around like 10 o'clock or so in the evening, although you probably wouldn't know the exact time, but you would see a familiar figure walk up to the guards and speak with them. And after she finishes, they just nod and kind of walk down the hallway a bit. She walks up to the cage and says, "Hello again, my friends."
Greetings. Has a decision been made?
It has, actually. I've come to speak with you a bit about it. So, we are at a bit of an impasse, as letting you go would harbor or would create some bad feelings among the troops that have survived. But Orkard does wish to work with you on getting this whole situation fixed. So we have a plan that we think will work out for everyone.
Okay.
She
Excuse me, sorry.
looks kind of to all of you and says, "You're going to escape this place. However, in the escape attempt, you will be killed and then brought in again as mercenaries." She says, "Since no one really knows what you look like, if you were to meet an unfortunate end as you left, most of the Iron Tide would have no idea if it was you or one of our slaves who is found dead or killed in a scruff or in a skirmish." Says, "So we will sacrifice some of our slaves to make it look like you've died." He says, "And then you will work with us secretly until you are brought in as a as an official member of our group. You will have all your things back, of course. So you will be snuck out, and as I said, the narrative will be that you were attacked and killed while trying to escape, but you will actually be fine."
Okay.
Seems
Those slaves you're going to kill are citizens of Chaur, I guess.
She says, "No, we are going to use our own slaves. Your people will not be harmed."
that is appreciated. That was my concern. I have no problems with this plan.
You need any help from us to carry it out?
She says, "No, I don't think so. We're going to have to choose a good time, most likely later tonight. We will give you your things and you will be quietly moved out of the cave. And then tomorrow, we'll have you come in with some different attire, and you will be introduced as mercenaries who are allies to the Iron Tide. We work with mercenaries all the time, as we ourselves are a mercenary group."
Sounds reasonable.
Sounds like a plan. That seems to appease all parties involved. Seems
She nods.
like...
Or, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. That was it.
So she nods and says, "I will have your things brought here later. I will come meet you along with, I'll come meet you and I will escort you out. So just be ready."
Why?
She says, "You were able to sneak in here with a fair amount of skill. I don't suppose, I'm assuming that you're all fairly versed in the ways of stealth."
No.
Some of us,
I'm pointing at me and town. No. No, we not.
Oh, well, which of you were the ones who snuck in here?
It was that one and that one. And I point at Scurry and Zach. Don't look at that one. She doesn't like to be looked at.
I see. All right, I'll keep that in mind then. But yes, we'll figure this out. I've been put in charge of making this happen. My name is Iara, by the way. I don't think I properly introduced myself before. And she gives you a polite bow.
Ara, you said?
Yes, Iara Ducat of the Deep. And with that, she will make her way back down the hallways and tell the guards basically they can go back to what they were doing. So does anyone want to do anything while you wait, or are you just going to wait for her to return?
We have nothing but our clothes, right?
Currently,
Yeah,
yeah.
You should have my lockpicks.
Oh, let's go. I guess I have those somewhere.
So when did you give him the lockpicks?
It was before last session. I wasn't here, and I guess she threw them to me, and I had them, and no one used them.
Alright, fair enough.
When we were in the cage, back in the other base.
Alright, so you may have your lockpicks hidden somewhere, or her lockpicks hidden somewhere on you. Alright, so time passes, and around 1 o'clock in the morning, you would see Iara come up to the guards again. It looks like she's talking to them. They seem a little annoyed, but they finally just kind of nod and walk away. She would walk up to the cage and she says, "It is time. The path should be cleared, but you'll have to stay close. Are you ready?"
Yep, as ready as I'll ever be. Are we
Alright.
still tied up and everything, or no?
No. When they brought you back here, they untied you.
Okay.
So she would produce a key and open the lock as she kind of looks around, eyeing the surrounding cave. She says, "I will bring you to your equipment, and then we will make our way to the entrance." The hall should be emptied. I have some of our higher ups looking out for stragglers. And you don't actually have to walk around the cave for this. This can be theater of the mind because it would be kind of a pain in the butt.
Yep.
So,
And Dal goes missing.
why would Dal go missing? Oh, yeah.
It's just, he's like, wait, what? Oh,
Yeah, well, Dal's an NPC, but no, he's with you. So she leads you through the cave. She actually produces several cloaks, and she tells you to put them on and keep the hoods up.
You do not need to tell me twice.
Alright, so you're all putting on the cloaks and kind of trying to hide your face.
Yeah, I'm still in the hobgoblin form, so.
Alright, so she's walking as you go through the hallways. One of the side passages, as she turns, there is a hobgoblin there who's chewing on what looks like a lamb leg, and he's kind of surprised as she comes around the corner. She gives him a look and says, "What are you doing here, whelp? You were told to stay out of the hallways." And actually, well, yeah, she would say it in common, I guess, because she doesn't necessarily speak hobgoblin. And he kind of gives her a wide-eyed look. It looks as if he's about to say something back, but he remains silent and quickly kind of runs down the hall past her. She kind of turns around, looks at him. "I might have to kill that one."
Sorry. I mean,
But we should with us for now.
She says, "Well, if he saw your faces, it could undo the whole plan. It might be safer if you were dead."
We'll just keep him along with us. I think that's the best.
Keep the hobgoblin along with us?
now I was looking for a replacement for what we lost.
She says, "No, the whole point is that they don't know you're alive."
Yeah, we're coming back here under false pretenses. It's
I
okay.
know. We can just come with us. He'll be our pet.
No, Dad, Nalo, no.
Give me a persuasion check.
Go for
Nalo.
it, Nalo.
There you go. Did that go through?
She says, "Well, he's not coming with us, but if you really think I should spare him, I suppose I could. He may not have seen your faces anyway. Most of these hobgoblins don't ask questions, so. All right.
Well,
Sorry.
it's a. I don't want to do. So if you want to kill him, go for it.
It honestly is the safest thing. And knowing if Scurry was here, he'd probably say, "Yeah, just kill him."
So she says, "I'll consider it," and she continues walking you down the hallway until she comes to kind of an area with a bunch of supplies. You see lots of swords and chainmail, some bows, and off to the side there's a sack. And she says, "Your things are over there. Go ahead and take them. Be quick, and make sure you keep your hoods up." So yeah, if you went over to the sack, you would find all your possessions kind of sprawled out, your weapons and armor. She says, "Go ahead and get your armor on and get ready."
Is our food there as well, or no?
Yes. It looks like all your things are just kind of thrown here. Possibly they didn't have time to go through them yet because it's only been like a few hours.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a point of showing Zerx that I use my holy symbol amulet and tuck it underneath my shirt, and make a point of looking at Zerx, hoping he will do the same.
Yeah, I'll hide one of the 13 I have. Make sure all 13 are there.
I'm gonna walk over to him and make sure the amulet, the magical amulet, is hidden.
That one, yeah, I figured that one was you were referring to, and then I hide that one as well.
Yeah.
So Dale would whisper. He says, "I don't know if I feel good about these slaves just being killed for us. Does not feel
Neither-
right."
Neither do I, but I don't have a better plan.
It's hard to bargain when our lives were spared, so we're sort of at the mercy of their plans.
Also, it's
way I
their
s-
camp and their rules.
The way I see it is that we can save more lives in the long runs by us staying alive ourselves.
I suppose. He says, "Well, for now, I guess we don't have a choice." So, as you kind of get your armor on and get your things together, Ayara is watching the doorway. After a moment, she would see you're all ready and motion for you to follow her.
Alrighty, everybody ready and dressed?
You'll
So she would lead you out to the front, stopping there as she sees there are a couple of guards on duty and tells the group to wait here.
all right. Let's
Okay.
wait.
Just wait.
So she walks closer to the hobgoblins. Actually, she's going to look to Zaquine and Scurry, and she whispers something to you, which I will send you a whisper in chat. Oops. Did you get that?
Yep.
Alright, so give me a stealth check, as I assume you're sneaking forward with her.
She doesn't seem happy about it.
Gives her a look. All right. So, give me a moment. Let's see if this is set up for this game now. Alright, well, I'll set this up real quick. So some of you have dark vision, right?
Scurrying
do.
in the back.
Alright. So you should be kind of able to see where the party token is right now.
Yeah.
Alright, excellent. So the two of or three of you sneak forward. Zaquine and Iara is with you. Unfortunately, with the 10, as you were sneaking forward, you kick some rocks, and the guards turn towards you. Give me an initiative roll. The rest of you are still hidden farther back in the cave.
Ah! Damn it!
Alright, so as
That 17 would have been so much better.
as you're sneaking forward, let's see, for them, they sort of turn as you kick the rock, hearing you. Looks like one of them is going for their horn, though they are surprised, I'll say. So their round passes because they're surprised, and then you would get to go on 6. So what are you going to do?
Which one's going for the horn? Not that it really matters.
They both have horns.
Okay. I should be able to move around to get to that one.
Alright, so you rush forward at them as they're kind of surprised, going for their horns, and you would get to attack. Alright, so you lunge forward, but he easily knocks you back. And
Don't you?
or go
Doesn't
ahead.
she have advantage? Does she have advantage because she's one-on-one? With Slosh?
No.
You
No.
have advantage, but usually if you would go
Oh.
first, you would have advantage.
Exhaustion. Sorry, I forgot about that.
But
What?
no, I don't think she still has a. Do you still have exhaustion?
No?
No. But you do have. She has the rogue ability where if you go first in initiative, you get advantage. I think, right?
If I'm one-on-one. If I'm one-on-one, I have, I get sneak attack.
Yeah, but not advantage. Those are different
No.
things.
No.
So yeah, he would knock you back, and suddenly, out of the shadows, with advantage, Iara appears here and stabs this guy in the throat. She comes out from behind some rocks. She is then going to turn towards the other one and attempt to fire her hand crossbow at him. And she would hit, because he does not have his shield out. Actually, almost missed.
Holy shit, she's pretty badass.
So he is struck, has to make a saving throw against poison. He would fail, and he kind of looks sick for a moment, then falls over dead from poison damage. She whispers to the, well, she comes up from down below and kind of motions for the group to come and follow her out of the cave now. So I assume you're all following her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so you all come walking out. She looks at Zach and says, you gotta watch out for those rocks. And continue out into the field. Are you saying anything, Zach?
How is it so easy for you to just kill them? I mean, aren't you working with them?
She shrugs. She says, to an extent, but I'm also here for my own reasons. Anyway, we have to make this escape look good. If you suddenly get out and no one's dead, then no one will believe it was an actual escape.
We got in with killing nobody.
He says, yeah, but that was just 2 of you. For the whole group to escape and no one to be killed? She says, don't worry about it. I'm setting it up. These are enemies of yours anyway, aren't they? Why do you care so much?
I don't like killing people that aren't exactly ready to fight back.
She says, well, I have no problems with that, as not winning often will mean your own death. Better them than me. So you're sneaking out through the field. She kind of looks around. She sees there are some torches up on the hill over here, as well as some torches near the tower over here. And she says, stay low and follow me, as she moves through the grass. So everyone give me stealth checks at advantage, because it is nightfall and it's pretty hard to see you without light. Now you guys are going pretty stealthy. Alright, so she's leading you down and around this way.
So can I just not roll today?
Just not doing great. But luckily you do have advantage, so you still got an 11. And the high rolls are 25, 19, and 21. So the group as a whole is being pretty stealthy.
I should have higher than an 11, though I got a +6 to stealth.
So good job. You rolled a 5.
Oh boy, a 5.
Well, technically she rolled a 2 and a 5, because she had advantage. But sometimes you just get the bad rolls.
I mean, in those situations, you just take the 10 and you get 16, right?
I don't think I can take the 10 yet.
Alright, so she kind of moves you to the edge of the map here, near where your cave is. And she would whisper, alright, if you follow the plains outward, that'll take you away from the camp. From there, I assume you know the way. I will come back tomorrow and meet you in this area. She says, and then I will bring you back in as mercenaries here to help us.
Sounds like a plan. We'll see you then.
She nods and says, I assume you have enough food and what you need to survive. I guess it's a little late to ask that, but...
So long as nobody's gone through our stuff, some supplies, we should be fine.
Alright, so she nods and starts making her way. Oh, actually, yeah, she'll say, yeah, I would, if you want, I would move out farther, maybe camp for the night, then come back in. But you should actually be fairly safe in these hills. As far as I know, our people don't really patrol this area much. So, it's up to you. And she will take off back towards the cave.
But before you go, I am curious. Can you tell us anything about what you're in it for? Like, why you're doing all this?
Why am I helping you?
Your own reasons.
Oh, well, I've been hired to help the hobgoblins. I've worked with the Iron Tide many times. And
So it's just
yeah, I've been hired to work with the Iron Tide, and Orcard pays me. He's asked me to do this for him, so I'm doing it.
how much money does he pay you, if you don't mind my asking?
Give me a persuasion check. She smiles and says, "What, do you think you can make me a better offer?"
No, I was just curious if maybe we wanted to work for Orchid as well.
Because, oh, I'm pretty sure he wants to work with you. That's why he's doing all this. I mean, you were able to take out a large chunk of his forces, so you've already shown yourselves to be competent.
That is true. Thank you so much for all this. Even if you're just doing it for, orders.
She shrugs. She says, "You can thank me by being competent when we work together. I don't need words of appreciation." And with that, she will take off back towards the cave, moving quickly through the grass as she disappears into the plains. Alright, so what does the group want to do?
So, how sure are we that she's actually gone and not sneaking around to listen in on us?
Do you want to make a perception check? Take a look around. You saw her move away through the hills, but, I mean, there's no way to know for sure if she's gone. So Tal, you look around, you do not see her with a 17. I assume you're looking around in the dark, though, because you probably don't want to light up a torch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell if she's actually there. Because right now, even with dark vision, those of you who have it, it's really hard to see.
So I'm gonna wait a bit with meaningful conversation
Okay.
until, and then like after an hour or so when we're setting camp, I guess.
Are you setting camp here, or are you moving out to the east more?
I mean, we're not too far from the cave, guys. I wonder.
Yeah, let's go back to the cave. I want to go check out the
Can't go
cave.
back to the cave.
If we go back to the cave, we really need to make sure we are not followed.
Remember, the prisoner we released knew about the cave, Scurry
that's
says.
true. That's true.
It
That's
might
right.
be dangerous to go wait there. We do have our prisoners out to the east, where we set up camp in the plains. We could go see
Yeah,
to them.
That's good. That's what I meant to do. Let's go check on them.
Alright.
Uh,
So you go back to the... Scurry leads you back there, and actually, Zaquine, you know where it is too, because you were there for a little while. But Scurry would lead you back there. You see your people kind of... are you trying to sneak up on it, or are you just walking up?
Just walking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so as you get close in the darkness, you see a couple of the soldiers there with bows kind of trained on you. And they kind of relax a bit when they see it's a smaller group and they kind of recognize you in the dark. One of the soldiers walks up and says, "Scurry, it's good to see you. Zaquine, it looks like you were able to free your friends."
Free isn't exactly the word I would use.
Scurry says, "Aye, we were able to rescue them, and luckily we were able to evade the hobgoblin forces. I think we need to get you all on the road, though." And he looks kind of strangely at Scurry and says, "But what about helping you with the fight?" And Scurry says, "Nah, we'll be fine. We don't need your help. We have a pretty good plan for defeating these hobgoblins." And the soldiers look confused.
We could always wait until Shock gets here and send them back with Shock. Just to make sure they're safe.
I think we should send them back and have them meet Shock, and take him back with them.
Well, we
Scurry,
don't know if they're going to meet up with Shock.
Scurry looks to the group suddenly and says, "Why don't we talk about our plans for a moment in private. You two go back to the camp. We need to discuss a few things. And the soldiers look a little bit confused, maybe a little bit annoyed, but they kind of reluctantly agree and walk back. And Scurry says, "All right, I don't think we should tell any of these people our plan. It would look very bad if the heroes of Chaur were conspiring with the people who attacked Chaur, if you get my drift."
I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what is our plan? We haven't really talked that out yet.
He says, "Well, I don't fully know, but it seems like the higher ups in Char have some kind of scheme going. If it's true that the Blackwater and the Lady Elf, Sithril, if they're working or if they were working with these hobgoblins and conspiring, then I don't know where this is all leading. But if we really intend to work with this Orcard against them, I don't think that should be common knowledge, both for our sakes and for the sakes of any plans we're coming up with. Because
We could just tell them that they are the ones who.
Yes, but we have no proof right now.
I
Difficult.
Doesn't matter as long as they believe us, and we can seed general discontent with the leading class.
Scary.
Also, like-
you forget how much power and influence Blackwater has in these areas. He is the main economic influence in this area.
Like, what do I know if he's broken any laws or if there's any measures I could take with like even higher ups?
He's the reason the Black Tide is here. He hired the Iron Tide. He hired them and then backed out on the deal, so they're trying to recover their costs.
Is anything he did against the law?
Well, it's difficult, I think, because the only people that can attest against him are the people that are attacking Char. So
this is
Like, what I'm
go ahead.
what I'm assuming right now is that the and I mean, this is kind of out of character, but DM, correct me if I'm wrong. So the way I imagine this justice system, if we manage to, like, it's probably more results oriented than actual. We have to deliver proof. So if we manage to sow enough discontent, convince the people of Char, then the king or whoever is in charge will not want him in charge anymore.
So, give me I guess give me a history check using wisdom. Are you proficient in history?
I mean, history check using wisdom would be 2 added to this.
Okay, so 22. So you now in your backstory, do you come from a city or from like a small town?
I come from like a more monastery kind of background, but it's like order clerics are kind of like it says in the description, they are often used as judges. So
Alright.
my family should have some experience in that.
So yeah, we'll say during your time kind of growing up and training, you went to both cities and kind of more backwater villages like Char. And justice kind of varied wildly depending on where you are. You would guess that Char, being a frontier city, as you said, is probably more results oriented rather than like by the book law. So like they don't have judges here. It's usually more the town. I don't want to say the town guard, but usually probably someone within the government hears cases and just decides them. It's not like there are juries or anything. So it would be difficult, most likely, to just walk in and say, this guy who has basically been funding the town for the last like 20 plus years is, some kind of evil guy. I mean, the group is well liked in the town, but it would be a uphill battle to try to prove, especially right now with no actual proof, that Blackwater is a villain. I mean, the Blood Hand would be easy to pin this on because no one really likes them, the Thief Guild. But yeah, most likely you have to talk to Mayor Asher, who I think you did meet. I can check the NPCs to see if she's revealed yet.
We don't know how deep the corruption is spread. Blackwater is pretty wealthy, so he could have connections with everyone.
Yeah, so you met Mayor Asher, you met Captain Grobe, the young mayor who you spoke to for a little bit.
Yeah, we met her. We've met the town guard.
I mean, she seemed like she was on the up and up. She didn't seem like the corrupt politician type. But again, it would be hard to just. You would imagine that it would be hard to just walk up to her and say, you know, this guy who funds your town is the one who brought this evil upon you. Especially if you don't have any proof of it.
We should at least tell Shock and see what he thinks about this.
So Scurry would say, I think the fewer that know, the better, but maybe you're right. Maybe Shock is trustworthy. As long as we don't go telling too many, because if there's a rumor that gets out that we start, that the town knows we started, that there's this conspiracy going on, first of all, it'll make it harder for us to actually work in the town, and secondly, it could come back to bite us, where we might have to leave the town because we're some kind of pariahs, especially if Blackwater starts, working against us with all his resources.
And you also possibly put the people at risk if who starts this rumor. He might just silence them.
Aye, exactly. We don't know. We don't know much about this Blackwater. If he'd hire assassins or.
Well, we do know he has a bunch of mercenaries at hand, just making a whole other force at this moment.
Well, if Orcard's to believed, he's got them for that trip he's planning to the undead city once he gets his pieces.
So
But-
those pieces were a ring, an amulet, and a dagger, right?
Aye, the dagger Orcard says he has, and I'm assuming Blackwater probably has one of them. We
You
don't know.
don't think this amulet we found could be the one?
He shrugs. He says, maybe. I don't know much about magic. And he sort of looks over at... Do you have any wizards in the group?
I'm the wizard, basically. I have one level in
alright.
wizard.
So yeah, he'd look to you. He says, man, I would assume you'd know better than me.
If you had 100 gold pearl, I could use that to gain more information.
I mean, I guess we could always ask tomorrow.
Well, yeah,
do we
they...
really want to disclose that we have the other piece of the puzzle?
That could be risky. We don't know how much we can trust this Orcard yet. It might... I don't imagine he'd want to give us up as allies, but he might see we have the necklace and just think if he can get it from us, he'd just take it and say, well, we have to just deal with that. I don't know, though. I don't know the man the hobgoblin very well.
Also, it might be better if no one gets all three pieces. Looking for stuff in undead cities seems like a bad plan.
Says, I don't
Sounds
know.
fun.
Depends on
Yeah.
how you go about it. So long as you're polite and respectful, they usually don't give you too much trouble.
He says, well, ancient vaults with ancient magics. It seems like we could we get something really valuable out of there. So
It does sound like it would cash in a good bit.
I'm not enthused about the undead city part, but the other parts of treasure and power, those don't sound too bad.
Real quick, out of character, how did we get this amulet? Is this the one from the basement? The
Yep.
cellar?
It was.
It was connected with necromancy, and it had an inscription that I can't remember.
Scurry says, in all likelihood, though, it's more likely just a random amulet from a basement. I don't see why a resident of Chaur would have one of the pieces hidden in his basement.
Don't fear the undead.
Apparently, they're buried in the area.
Yeah, but maybe. I thought it was more up here they were buried, which is 3 days from Char. That's quite the ways for it to be buried.
It's unlikely, but possible.
Yeah. Well, maybe this magic user that Zach keeps smiling at, maybe he has a pearl for you.
What?
I'll transform the hot goblin and put his face on this one right here.
Says I, that one. Maybe he has a pearl you can borrow, Tal.
If he doesn't ask too much questions.
Well, I think for now, though, we should just keep this all secret from the soldiers we rescued. I think they should go back thinking, that we rescued them and that we're going to rescue their people. And maybe when we return to town, we can just tell everyone that we were able to drive the hobgoblins away.
What do we do with Shock?
Says, well, that's something we have to think about. What we're going to tell Shock.
We can't just say to the common soldier that they've received enough reinforcements that it no longer seems feasible to just attack the
we can negotiate with the Iron Tide. We are going to meet them again tomorrow.
I mean, honestly, we could probably tell Chaur most things and they just believe us. I mean, why would they doubt that we ran the hobgoblins off if the attack suddenly stopped? I don't know if we should tell them we're negotiating because they might.
No. We haven't negotiated for them to stop the attacks yet.
That's true, but I don't think that'll be hard to do. As Orcard said, he was more attacking to try to get the pieces. So if we tell him that we might be able to do that, then he'd have no reason to attack.
No, that's something we just need to air out and get it solidified that it's no longer going to happen.
Yeah, we can just tell them, like, that we killed a lot of them in the cave and their numbers are thinning out or something.
Which is what we were doing anyway, so it makes sense.
Although there is the problem of if we aren't going to be attacking Char and Blackwater stays in Char, we can't really get the necklace without going to Char and attacking them. Unless you're able to out somehow.
Well, we're not. Or go ahead, sorry.
We just ambush them at the ruins.
Ambush.
Is Blackwater
Blackwater,
city
when he sends his excursion party to go exploring, we ambush him at the ruins.
Why would he
he
go
won't,
there if
but-
he doesn't have all the pieces?
Yeah, I don't know if we could get him to leave his mansion. I was more thinking maybe try to. I mean, I guess if we can find a way to lure him out, but maybe just steal it from him.
That would probably be the best.
Or,
Maybe.
maybe just try to ambush. I don't know. It's a plan. We don't have enough information to really sort that out yet, how we're going to do this.
If you were going to sneak in and take his stuff, you might want a distraction, and calling off all attacks altogether might seem dishonest if we then tell the hobgoblins we need their help attacking Char again. Not really sure what goes on in the future, but we should probably say as little as possible to the soldiers.
That we agree on, Pon.
And we can figure out the details of the plan more as we go. We don't have to decide right now how we're going to get the pieces. Alright, well, for now, maybe we should just go to bed, and tomorrow we can talk more as these new mercenaries.
I want to, like, resummon my owl to have her here.
Alright, do you mean, like, recast the spell?
I mean, I can dismiss her, right? And summon her again, and then she should be next
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you could definitely do that. So you're going to basically just summon her back to you.
Yeah.
So you remember that Shock might be following her here?
Yeah, I want her to tell me where Shock is and lead the soldiers and the ex-slaves to him.
Right now? Or are you talking about in the morning?
Intercept. I think we're talking about the morning.
Okay, so why don't we say that, unless anyone else is saying anything, the group's going to go to bed.
I'll take the first watch.
Alright, so let's do a quick 5-minute break, because I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
So, I'm not quite certain, but can someone tell me what happened to the bears?
Tal's got a new hat.
What?
Oh shit!
Oh my god.
He likes his hat. It's like a raccoon hat, but it's bear cubs.
Oh, is Cal legit just wearing the bear cubs as a hat?
Yep. It's still alive though. We shrunk it down.
Oh my god.
No, like for real. Like bear cubs dead. Who killed the bear cubs?
No, they're supposed to be
For
here.
real, I have no idea what happened to them after we left.
They're here with the slaves and stuff.
Oh, okay, that's good.
How they're doing, I don't know.
Yeah, guys, have fun like stealing from Blackwater River. I'll just be chilling over here with the cubs.
Nalo, surrogate mama bear.
Yeah.
Zach might try to keep Carter.
That is not a pet, Zach. That is a Carter. You don't keep Carters.
Sure, keep Carter's.
Yeah, just kill Carter's mom and become his surrogate mom. Easy. Wait, isn't Carter an orphan already?
Don't give her ideas.
What?
Dude, already half of the trouble is dealt with. Carter doesn't have a mom, I believe. So there you go.
Carter's a demigod. He just doesn't know it yet, so we gotta go kill a god now. Thanks.
If his mom were like the same age.
And realistically, Carter's more mature.
Doesn't matter. I still put him on his ass. So how could I feasibly keep Carter with being a mercenary? What would be the excuse I use?
You have to talk to the DM. He's my emotional support Carter. I don't know.
Hello?
Hello, stranger.
Hello. Sorry about that.
Alright, sorry about that. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Alright, so the group is continuing their rest. Give me a d20 roll, someone. $16. Alright, so the rest of the night passes without issue. It is now the 6th of autumn. You wake up early at around 8 a.m. as the sun is rising and everyone's kind of getting their stuff together. It's a bit of a cold breeze and a dew on the air. What do you all want to do? You said you were summoning your owl here?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna ask her where she left Shock.
Alright, so you would all see Tal do some gesturing as there's suddenly a flash and his owl just comes flying in out of nowhere. The owl would seem a bit surprised and say, Master, I was leading, it says to you in your mind, I was leading Shock and his people towards you.
How far away is Easter?
He says, I would guess about a day's travel, maybe a little less.
Can you lead these people to him? And gesture to the slaves.
So he says I can try, but I don't know exactly where Shock will be by the time I get back there.
I have faith in you.
Nods. The scout says, I can probably find, or not the scout, the soldier says, I could probably find my way back to Chaur if I had to anyway. But with the owl's help, it will definitely make things easier. So
Try
if
to meet
we...
up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Try to meet up if possible. If you can't meet up within this day, head back.
So if I meet up with the Shock, what do you want me to tell him?
Tell him that we can take care of this, and he should take you home, take you back home to Char.
And to take care of the
Guard you.
cubs.
Yeah.
Give me a persuasion check, you two. Alright, so the guy seems a little bit hesitant, but he nods and says, You're sure you'll be alright here? I have no problem, and I think most of us have no problem staying to help you.
We have thinned their numbers out enough. It's
Am I
we've
here?
done.
I
Yeah.
here.
Sorry, I
you're up.
can't really hear you, Nalo. You're really,
Sorry, am I nearby? Can I hear this conversation?
Oh, yeah, you're all there.
Oh. Well, I'll just say that thus far we haven't really had much success just attacking random groups. We're gonna have to go after the head, the big baddies, but you guys aren't really trained for that, sneaking around and such. You'd be just a hindrance to us.
Give me another persuasion check with advantage.
Damn, now I'm going cold.
Say calling him a hindrance is a little
He
much.
seems like he's about to protest, but he just says, I suppose it would be hard for all of us to get past the hobgoblins just to attack their leader. Maybe you would be better suited for those type of stealth ops missions. Alright. Very well. I will. Well, we will all make our way back, and I hope we see you back at Char soon. What do you want me to do with these bear cubs?
Bring him to Shock and tell him to take care of him. He will know what to do. We mean to actually take care of him. Don't kill him.
He nods and says, "All right. I don't know what the town guard will say about letting bears into town, but maybe."
They're the heroes of Char's. Bears. What are they going to do to our bears?
Says, "Well, I mean, bears are generally dangerous, but
They seem to like Nalo as he's getting maimed and like batted across them.
yeah." All right. Well, we'll bring them back. We'll figure that out, and we'll make that work. Good luck to all of you. And with that, he takes all the prisoners and starts making his way across the field to follow the owl. He's just sort of flying in circles, trying to get them to follow. Alright, so as they are walking away through the plains, what's the group doing?
Doubting.
Heading towards the rendezvous point.
We're supposed to be there in the morning.
Alright. So you head back towards the meeting area, where as you get there, you don't see anyone there, so I assume you're going to wait for a bit.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out.
Alright. So, as you arrive, as you're waiting, you would, after a bit, see Ayara come out from behind some hills as she's making her way towards the group. She waves at you and walks up, saying, "Are you all ready to head into the cave?"
Do we have a change of clothes, or are we going to do that on the way? Or does that not matter too much?
She says, "I have a change of clothes for you," and she takes off her backpack and produces some clothing that is definitely different. She says, "I didn't have your exact sizes, but I think I was able to figure it out from just looking at you. I had meant to ask, were there any other hobgoblins who had seen your faces up close?"
There was one, but I think you know about him.
It's the Hobgoblin, this one. Oof, oof.
Also, the captain from the camp we attacked.
Yes.
The northern camp?
Yep.
Yeah,
Was it the northeast or northwest?
east.
The most northern one.
And you think he got a close enough look where he'd be able to identify you?
I believe so, but he also didn't seem too against the idea of us working together, in all honesty.
He said he was impressed after catching us.
It's a risk. You think he'd be quiet if he saw you as these new people?
I don't think he'd be a risk. I think he'd be impressed even more.
Give me a persuasion check.
So how do you actually allow to take 10 or no?
You can use a inspiration point to gain advantage, but I don't generally do take 10 unless you're doing passive perception or passive insight or something.
Okay, I was just asking.
So she considers it and says it would be easier if he was just found dead somewhere. Are you sure that we can trust him?
Of course I'm not sure. I don't know him, but...
Well, we'll keep our eyes out, and if we see him, then we'll make sure we'll deal with him. It's a promise. But if we don't see him, then there's no need.
Well, I mean, he's within the ranks of the Iron Tide. If you join us, he will most likely see you again at some point. The question is how he'll react to that. But you say that you think he would keep the secret.
I believe so.
He was keen on having us join his ranks, as for all the trouble we caused, he would have been happy to have us on his
He was
squad.
quite open.
All right. Well, I hope you're right. Although even if he does say something, I don't think much will come of it. One hobgoblin barking conspiracy theories will most likely be ignored. Alright, well, go ahead and put these clothes on and then follow me. Alright, so you would get dressed.
Um,
She begins leading you.
how are different people's taken?
You asking her?
Yeah.
Different? What do you mean?
I mean, I can see that you are usually not much of one that's approved of, are you?
You speaking about my race?
Yes.
Generally speaking, the hobgoblins look at me with some amount of distrust, but it's a mercenary group after all. At the end of the day, it's more about your skill and usefulness to the cause than what type of race you are. If you're referring to your tiefling heritage, most of these people wouldn't even know what that is. They would maybe be a little bit put off by your features, but I don't think anyone's going to make trouble for you.
So I don't have to hide here.
She shrugs and says, I don't usually. The hobgoblins know who I am. But that is up to you. So as you're coming along this way, you would see her wave at the tower. She leads you through. You all have your clothes on now, right?
Yeah.
New clothes. She would say, I would say for the time being, keep your hoods up. Just in case it'll make it a little bit harder for them to make out who you are.
I've got a new face. I don't know whose it is though.
Fair enough. Alright, so she would lead you back to the mine. At the front, you would see the guards there, along with Ordul and Orkard, both of which approach you. Orkard says, "Friends, I'm glad you could make it. I look forward to seeing what an alliance between your group and the Iron Tide will look like." Says, "Does your group have a name, your mercenary band?"
We
Not really.
it's still a work in progress. We haven't decided anything quite yet.
I see.
He's gone by.
Says, "Well, you'll have to forgive us. We had a bit of an incident last night. A group of prisoners escaped, killed some of my guards in the process. Though we were able to track them down and kill them. So there should be no more issues."
Well, that's good to know. I don't feel like waking up with a knife in my back.
He says, "No, you won't have to worry about that here. With this new group of troublemakers out of the way, I think things will return to normal. But I'm I'm curious to speak more with you about your abilities and what you might be able to help bring to the Iron Tide. So let's head into the mine and speak more." And he kind of motions for you to follow him. "I can take it from here, Ayara." And she would just nod and kind of go her own way. So I assume you're following him back into the mine.
Yeah.
Alright, so... Excuse me. He leads you inside to a familiar system of caves. And he says... he takes a moment to kind of explain the caves to you and kind of let you know where everything is. He says there are a couple of points of interest within the cave. There is an area to the east here. One of the ruins we're digging up I'm hoping to have that uncovered in a few days and possibly extract the riches within. There's another area up here to the northeast, a cave that we discovered when we first got here. However, there's a bit of danger inside, and we've blocked it off for now.
And what kind of danger would that be?
Well, we've had several groups go in there trying to suss out what was going on, and they all have vanished. I didn't want to send any more troops in there for the time being until I was able to figure out what was happening. Of course, you know of my cave up here, where my lair is. And spread throughout this place are the various tents and encampments where my soldiers stay. So you're welcome to visit any of those as long as you don't start any trouble. But I assume I don't have to even tell you that.
No.
He says there's also the wyvern. I don't know how much you know of wyverns, but the mountains, I believe, have 2 wyverns that have made nests in there, and they've been plaguing my troops. At some point, I have to take care of those. That could be something your group might be better equipped to handle.
Yeah. We have the means to neutralize that Steiner up there. That's quite
It's a big flying thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We could do, but we need assistance.
I would be happy to offer some assistance, but our main objective, of course, is to retrieve the ring and amulet. I don't know where the amulet is yet, but we know that Blackwater has the ring. He says, do you think you would be able to help us with any of these objectives?
I'm sure we could get the ring.
The ring's a possibility, especially if Honora is willing to aid us.
Ayara, you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, I think I could spare her to head back to Chaur with you. It might be good for you to do that first. Heading back to Chaur and quelling some of the unrest there, letting them know that the hobgoblins will no longer be an issue to them, might get some of these mercenaries and these agents of Blackwater off of our backs.
Yeah, because there's been a bounty on y'all, and I'm sure that's one incentive for them to stay around.
Says I assume there was. How do you intend to get them to leave us alone, just out of curiosity?
Well, we'll try our best, but that's something we cannot promise. We can promise that we will be able to get close to Blackwater, at the very least.
And we can talk to the mayor and inform her that the hobgoblins will no longer be an issue. They will still be in the area, but they will no longer plague the trade caravans, nor will they attack the farms.
Alright, well, I'll leave that up to your discretion. I didn't even ask, but I assume there is a price that you have for this assistance.
I believe our cut of our share of the spoils, once this is all said and done.
The spoils? What spoils?
I'm assuming you want to go to the ruins and see what's inside?
You speak of Issyk and the Undead City.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. That, give me a persuasion check.
I am going to use some of my inspiration points.
Alright, so you make an
How many can I use at what time?
You can use as many as you want. You can only have up to 10. So I don't know how many you have, but...
I've got 4 at least.
Yeah, so you can use as many as you want.
So, okay, can you explain, like, is it just a plus 10 to it?
It is advantage on a roll.
Okay.
Same as regular inspiration.
Alrighty, I'll do 1 then.
Can I help?
I mean, you can say something and make your own persuasion check if you want.
I mean, it would be nice to go. Kind of curious what's in there if so many people want to get in.
Oh wait, I need to click my character. Where is he?
So go ahead and give me a persuasion check as well.
Where's our token? I need to pull my token on the feed.
He says, I was thinking I would just pay you as normal mercenaries. I wasn't. I didn't realize you wanted a cut of the Isaac vault. Go ahead, Zerks. Give me a persuasion advantage.
I'm trying to find how to pull my token again. I forgot.
Well, you don't
Why do
need
you
your
need the
token
token?
for it. You just need to click on
Yeah.
persuasion with advantage. Well, it should be set to roll 2 numbers. So you just take the higher. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm happy with that.
So he considers things. He says, "Do you think your abilities warrant a cut of such a large prize?"
Oh, I do believe so.
So
Don't you?
we can also help in exploring the depth. We don't know what dangers are down there, but we'll certainly.
All right. So your conditions for helping me are that once we reach the vaults, your group gets a share of the treasure.
Also, it would help appease Char if or at least some of their slaves would be released.
Yes, that is another condition. The people of Char need to be returned. That is something that we cannot negotiate on. If you want to hire them, or see if we can hire some muscles that would be willing to work, we don't mind coming out of our cut.
Also, we don't need this to be met right away. Of course, this could be done on sort of a case by case basis as we complete objectives. So we don't need to do that right away. But if we were to return the dagger to you, I would like the slaves to be released.
Says, "Well, I have the dagger. You mean the ring?"
Oh, I did ring, yeah. I misspoke.
Give me anyone who's been talking. Give me another persuasion check. All right. So he says, "How about this? I will give your group a 50% cut of what is in the vault, and my Iron Tide will take a 50% cut." And he says, "The slaves are a bit more complicated, as without them we don't really have a labor force. We didn't bring enough of our own people, and Blackwater initially had." He says, "You think you could hire laborers from Char?"
The economy there is awful. So long as you offer them decent conditions and treat them properly, I'm sure we can find workers.
We'll take 30% of the cut from this.
No, shush. No.
No,
Bad, no.
it's a suggestion. At the very least,
Scurry would have silenced you right there, and you know it.
treat the slaves-
Honestly, I'm considering putting a dagger in him.
no, but
No.
the slaves can be
Bad
kept for
knowledge.
now. At the very least, they have to be fed better.
Yes, that's better treating of care of the slaves. No more beatings, no more of this.
You can keep them for now, but
Make
let's.
sure they get fed.
It's hard.
So he sort of takes you off to the side, where he makes sure there's no one really listening. He says, "So, are you wishing the slaves released, or are you okay with us keeping them? I'm confused."
Fine keeping them for now, but better improve the quality of their treatment and ensure that no accidents befall them or deaths occur at the hands of your people.
He says, "Well, I suppose we can feed them better. Maybe work them a little bit less."
That's harshly.
Allow them to actually get enough time to rest and recover. That you're better off keeping them well rested to the point where they can actually work, and inform them after
Inform them that there will be an end.
there will be an end. That your freedom will be your freedom is guaranteed after we have found what we're looking for.
He says, "You do realize that if they are released at some point, they will most likely know that your group worked with us."
At that point, it is okay.
At that point, I don't. At that point, yeah. At that point, I don't think any of us would care. Their safety is more important than our reputation.
He says, "Well, if you feel that way, but it might make you criminals in Char if your people know that you helped us." Unless you're somehow able to explain to them why you did what you did.
We'll just tell them we did what we had to.
We did what we
Being
did.
them makes us criminals, and so be it.
If worst comes to worst, we'll just leave, travel somewhere else.
He nods and says, alright, I can respect that deal. I'll have my people treat the Chaur prisoners better. Any other demands?
No. We have no demands that need to be demanded as of yet. If
Do you
we
have any drinks here?
I'll leave. Let's put a pin on this for a moment. I believe our feline friend will have his demands, but I'm sure Cat's got his tongue at the moment, so what's to say.
I'll think about it, Scurry says. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this 50%, but we'll speak later. Orcard nods.
I'm sure Bo would be so mad right now that he's not here for this. He's like, I wasn't there for the demands. No.
I'm still. Do you have any drinks? Maybe.
Orcard says, yes, I do have drink. If you all would like to come back to my chambers, we can drink together. I'm going to introduce you to my Iron Tide soldiers later, letting them know who you are and that you'll be working with us. Of course, not who you actually are, but your identities shall be kept secret from them, and hopefully you look different enough that they won't know who you are. He says, it would help if I had a name for your group.
Give us a moment. We'll drinking. We'll discuss and figure that out.
Alright, so he would bring you back to his lair. You see that Erdul, follows you in there, and you all kind of drink, talk a little bit, although Orcard isn't saying much at the moment. What do you all want to do once you return to his lair?
Well, I think if we are going to head out towards Char, we should take with us a very small, perhaps elite group of hobgoblins, or maybe someone else that's good at subterfuge.
Well, we're taking
Oh yes, the elf. That's right. Is there anyone else that we want to bring with us or ask for?
He says, I was going to send, like I said, I was going to send Ayara with you.
Ayara is fine then, yeah.
I wasn't planning on sending any of my troops.
That's fine, yeah. It'd be hard to hide them with
an elf
hobgoblins.
is one thing, but a hobgoblin's another.
I do have to ask though, will Ayara be recognized by any of Blackwater's mercenaries?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think, I don't think she's ever been seen by any of the people of Chaur. She's mostly been working from the shadows.
That's good.
He would be sitting on his throne drinking. And of course he gives you all some drink as well. Erdul would say, so how did you all become acquainted? I'm curious.
I was hired to protect the caravan.
I see. The caravan, the one that got past our defenses, I assume.
The one you stole the dagger from.
Yeah, that would make sense. Ah, so you knew Ayara quite a ways before this, then. Or I guess you didn't actually meet her during the attack.
I noticed her. I didn't know her, but I noticed something in the shadows.
Orcard laughs. He says she's getting sloppy. Well, I'm glad things turned out the way they did. I was losing way too many troops to you all.
Sorry about that. Seems that Blackwater has a wonderful way of words to make it seem portray a different picture.
Says, I don't fully blame you. It's the way of war. Sometimes your enemies can become your friends. Sometimes not. But in war, people kill each other. You had reason to kill us, and we had reason to kill you. It's just you were way more skilled than my troops were. He says, I am a bit curious how a fight between us would have gone. Though, at this point, we're past such things.
It just depends. If you had your numbers, you'd probably win. If it was...
I'll fight you now.
No! Damn it, how much does she have to drink?
He laughs. He says, perhaps we could spar sometime, but I don't really, I'm not really in the mood to have a duel at the moment.
I'll give 10 gold if you put her on her ass several times and I get to sit there and laugh.
He shrugs. He says, well, you all seem like you're fairly skilled at your abilities. So I don't know if it would be an easy task.
So, Orchard, do you have an armory of some sort that we could visit?
And he looks at you curiously. He says, I do have armaments and armors, but I didn't think that was part of your payment.
Oh, no. It would be if we were to shop, essentially, before we left. Not you giving it to us. We'd pay for it.
He says, well, my quartermaster can probably sell you supplies if you're looking for normal armaments, but some of my more specialized armaments I probably wouldn't sell.
I see.
He kind
When
of
you say
taps his...
specialized, what do you mean?
He kind of taps his lightning katana. He says, I do have a few magical things that my group has amassed.
So where did you come upon such a interesting blade? I've never seen one of its make.
He says, I won it from a Tassawanese warlord several years ago. I fought him in a duel, and I just barely avoided death. He kind of points to a scar on his face and says, it wasn't easy, but I was able to slay him and take his men and his sword in the process. He says, it was actually a very foolish move on my part, as I had the numbers and the advantage over his troop. He very nearly took the whole Iron Tide and my life.
Did he insult your honor and pride that he forced your hand?
Says no, actually. He seemed like a very skilled and honorable fighter. We just happened to be on separate sides of a battlefield. He knew he couldn't win in a direct fight between his men and mine, so we dueled, as is sometimes the way of the desert folk. He says, I was, as I said, foolish to accept. I should have just forced his surrender, but I was prideful, and it almost cost me. So I've learned the value of taking more calculated and measured approaches to things, which has served me well, especially in a place like that that's so chaotic and filled with people that are more likely to be violent than to think about their situations.
Well, I can assure you when the time comes for us to cross blades, I won't be aiming to kill.
I hope not. If it's a duel, that is not the purpose. But
she's not a good drinker. Please don't mind her. Wait, how old are you?
He laughs.
What do you mean, how old am I?
Are you asking her that?
The way she's been acting and all this, I'm like, wait a minute. Is there even a drinking age in this world?
Well, let's
not
see
really.
here. My mother died when I was 6, and I'd say it's been about 11 winters since then.
Okay.
Well, this isn't really a puritanical society. No one really cares who's drinking.
Anyway, she's a lightweight.
Yeah. So he just laughs. He says, "It's fine. I've been feeling a little lightheaded myself. I probably should ease the drinking, Erdul says, I can take them before the horde, or before the tide, and introduce them, Orcard. You rest if you wish it. He nods and says, thank you, Erdul. And Erdul would walk up to Zaquine and say, I will duel you at some point, young one. I'm curious to see what your skills are.
Great.
And the rest of you, too. But are you ready to go and meet some of the Iron Tide?
Yes.
What's one of the most? Actually, I'm trying to think of what would be like one of the most feared races for a hobgoblin to see.
Do you have history?
I don't think I have it learned. Not this character would.
You can give me an untrained history check.
Oh, it's a -1.
So from what you know, goblins and elves don't get along very well, and often, from what you remember historically, the goblinoid races have had some pretty nasty wars with the elven races.
So that's just bitter hatred. It's not like utter fear.
No, I mean, there's, as far as races go, there's not many feared races.
Okay. I'll just go to Zerk's form for now.
All right. So, Erdul asks, have you thought about what name you want me to give the Iron Tide for your group?
Anybody for
It could be the Black Scourge.
the unseen for our
Yeah.
less than savory group name?
That'll work.
Scurry says, I like the name, but I don't know if it's a good representation of our abilities. I think some of us are unseen. Others
Yes,
are
yes,
very seen.
yes,
He
yes, yes.
laughs at you.
I get it. It's scary. I realize that. It's you're carrying the weight. So big shoulders, big weight to carry. Scary.
Maybe it's an ironic name because we're so seen.
I mean, Tal and I, we're hard to miss.
I say it works for now.
What was that you said, Nalo? The Black Scourge?
Yeah, I just remember Scurry
Opening.
saying something about that.
He says, I don't, I'm not against that name either. Yeah, I guess Scurry did mention something about that. He says, Black Scourge unseen. Why don't we have a vote?
We can just use. I'm fine with bowing out and using the Black Scourge for our less than savory operations.
He says, I don't know how well that would go over with other groups, but like the Citizens of Chaur, it might be a bit of an odd name, but all right.
Well, when we're in Char, we're the heroes of Char.
So fair enough. I guess we could change our name going. So let's go with the Black Scourge. Maybe we'll change it later. And Erdul would nod and begin. He says, "Well, follow me. I'm going to take you to meet some of the soldiers, just so they know you and know who you are, and that you're allowed to be around camp." All right. So he would lead you off. Probably take a good amount of the day to show you around, introduce you to some of the captains, some of the soldiers who don't seem overly fond of you. Not as welcoming. Just kind of would nod and tolerate you, but don't say much.
It seems like it's outright hostility, or does it just seem like your typical you're not one of us?
Yeah, no, you don't think they're hostile. They just probably don't know you very well and don't necessarily like strangers, or at least aren't as as welcoming as Urdul and Orkard have been. But they also, yeah, don't know your skill level because obviously you're hiding your true identities. So they just more seem annoyed and like they put up with it because they know Urdul's in charge.
Gotcha. Basically, you're dead weight until you prove otherwise.
Yeah, sorta. So that's going to take a good amount of the day introducing you to everyone and showing you around. But we'll say around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon he finishes. And he says, that's pretty much everyone. Are you planning to head back to Chaur right away? Or are there things you're going to do around here first? I'm sure Orcard mentioned some of the issues that are plaguing us. There's that cave where we keep sending men and they keep dying, and of course there's the wyvern, but that is a much more dangerous foe to approach.
I say we head back to Char, and see about trying to procure that ring before if we go down in a dark, mysterious hole or die to a wyvern. See if we can succeed at that.
He nods. He says, just be careful. Blackwater has been quite versed in trickery, and he would not. I assume he would have a fairly easy time turning the town against you.
So, what's the other one? The other group called the Black Hand.
The Blood Hand.
Blood
Blood
Hand.
Hand,
How hard would it be to get them to ally themselves with us against Blackwater?
You saying this to Erdul?
Yes. Yeah.
He looks kind of annoyed. He says, well, they have no love for Blackwater either. From what I heard, they as well had a falling out with him. But we also are not overly fond of the Blood Hand.
I think our best bet would just be to turn the two against each other.
That's what I was getting at and thinking about.
Well, you mentioned them allying with us, and I'm not sure if I want to work with them.
Not allying per se, but staying out of each other's way.
Cithril is a cunning leader, so I don't know if it will be an easy task to use her against Blackwater. But, of course, if you're able to, that is a route to take. If you're thinking of an alliance with Cithril, he says that would be a harder sell for Orcard and myself. I don't know if we would trust the elven bitch again. And he spits. All of these Empire folk, none of them are trustworthy. Well, present company excluded. Alright, well, I suppose I will head back into the mine, but you know where we are. If you need anything, come and speak to us. You have free run of our base. Just don't cause any trouble.
Oh, if we need magical components, is there a place where we can procure or borrow things if need be?
What sort of magical components?
What did you tell? You needed some things, did you not?
Like a pearl with 100 gold. If you know what identify is.
Says I am aware of Identify, and actually I do have a spare pearl just in case I lost mine. Wasn't really, not really super keen on selling it.
Didn't we find? I've got these. I show them the runes that I found. Would these be of interest in trade, possibly? I don't know if you are interested in. You seem to be.
Which runes are these?
The ones that I found in the ground that were keeping that one place hidden.
Oh, the stones. You mean the, yeah, okay. He takes a look at them. He says, what do they do?
When they are placed in four corners in a square, I believe they make a place, they hide the area.
They grow plants.
So you show them on the ground?
Yeah.
He says, it's a interesting little illusion trick, but I don't know how useful that would be to me.
Something to study, something to learn, something new, possibly. We're not very, magic-y, as far as I know. Tal's, you're learning, aren't you?
I'm learning.
He's learning.
But right now I'm concentrating on other things.
He says, do you have 100 gold pieces to trade for a pearl?
I don't know, dude. That Scurry has the money.
Does
Scurry does
have
have
all the money?
Yeah, he's the treasury, remember?
treasury. He has all the money.
So
I think
Scurry,
we're up to 100. We might.
you're
That
all
might be
garbled. I can't hear you.
that might be like majority of our funds right there.
Yeah, if we have 100, it's just barely 100. I doubt we'd have much more than 100, if that much.
I mean, we have money to turn in with all the trophies and stuff. So I mean, I wouldn't mind grabbing the pearl from him now.
Uh,
Would you be willing to just lend it for me for 20 minutes?
he says,
I thought-
what do you need to identify?
That's
The sack?
Alright, well, that's one thing, but you said 20 minutes. What was the second thing?
Oh, it was just, like, getting away from here, like, finding a quiet corner, sitting down, identify, come back. I don't know, add some extra time.
he wanted some. He likes to practice in private. He's
Are you trying to deceive
He's
right
not.
now?
Yeah.
Give me a deception check. There's a very specific 10 minutes to go get set up and then 10
Yeah, I
minutes
know.
to do your spell.
I don't have
go ahead.
guidance. I'll give you guidance.
Oh my god!
So
Oh,
he
no.
he gives you a very curious look and says, "Right." He says, "If you tell me the two things you're identifying, perhaps I'll lend you the pearl." I'm assuming they're things you stole from us.
Oh no, not at all. These are things we just found on our adventures. But
One of them we stole from you.
yeah, sure. They didn't find it technically. We dug it up.
Yeah.
So what was? Did you tell him the second thing you're identifying? You said the bag and what? Or are you
Yeah.
gonna be?
I'm gonna
No,
test Cirques.
we choose not to disclose the second thing for now.
Okay, he's gonna choose not to disclose it.
I'm gonna tell him that. I'm like, it is.
He says,
matter-
if that's the case, then I will ask for the 100 gold and trade you the pearl, but I'm not lending it.
I vote get the pearl. We're gonna make some of our money back once we get back to town.
Scurry says, wait, I thought we were going to split the money. Are we just going to give it all to our wizard Tal to buy his pearl?
It's something that we constantly can use and reuse over and over and over. It'll pay for itself in due time.
I'm not really sure about you guys, but I was kind of expecting to, leave.
Yeah.
I only came to
We can also
Guard a
buy a boiling
caravan.
cloth if we need to.
That's fine. We'll hold off on this for now. Just we'll see what we can do back in Chaur.
He nods. He says, I'm sure there's someone in Chaur who could sell you a pearl. It's not the most rare gem, but I'd rather keep my two anyway, just in case. I like to have a backup.
Understandable.
He nods and says, all right, well, good luck to you. And like I said, you know where I am if you wish to speak. And Erdul would part ways with you at that point.
Alrighty, let's gather our things, and if y'all have anything else y'all need to do, Zerx is ready to go back to Chaur. I want to go find Shock before I head back, though.
All right. So you have your things, so you're going to start heading back to Chaur?
I don't, unless they have something they want to do. Zerx is ready to go, though.
How are you going to find Shock?
Is Dale still with us, technically?
Dale. Yes, he is. Dale and Scurry are both with you.
Yeah, I'd see if Dale could help us find the way.
He says, well, I could find the way to Chaur easy enough, but I have no idea where this friend of yours is. It's a huge plain between here and Chaur.
Let's head towards Char for now, and
They're also a day away, so they'll get there before we do.
He says, if your owl went back to them, most likely they're heading back to Chaur as well, so we'll probably meet them there.
Yeah, let's just give them time to meet each other, then I can summon my owl and ask what's going on.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds good.
So you get your things together, you get ready to journey back to Chaur. So Dale would ask, do we have enough food for this trip?
I thought we had like 70 plus days of worth of food now.
Oh, well, you gave that to the soldiers, I thought.
We gave them enough for a week.
Okay, so you kept the majority of the food. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
We're losing our Dale soon, so yeah, we were greedy.
Makes sense. Well, Dale says I can probably find food for us on the way back because I think he does have Outlander.
So we don't need to be too picky. I can just cleanse it.
We just need to get good berry and we'll survive.
Let me check Dale. I don't know if you have anyone who could cast Goodberry. Maybe Dale? Let me see. Oh, no, he can. Okay. So he has Goodberry, and I think he has Outlander. But let me double check that. Oh, no, he has Folk Hero. Alright, so he has Goodberry. So you can use that to get food, or give you guys food. So you would begin traveling. I assume Dale is going to be leading the expedition.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my eyes open for the wood elf.
The Wood Elf?
Yeah.
What Wood Elf are you talking about?
The druid.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he never came back. What's his name? Fedloy. Yeah, you haven't seen him since he separated from you in the cave. You could assume he might have been watching you in animal form, but you wouldn't know for sure because he never came back, even in the evening when you all kind of went your separate ways. So Ayara is also not with you yet.
I would wait for her or inform her that we're departing and when she wishes to meet up with us.
All right, so you probably go take a look around. You don't see her right away. Do you want to try to leave a message with someone?
With yeah.
Erdul, all right.
Erdul, yeah.
All right, so you let Erdul know, and he nods. He says, she can be hard to pin down, but if I see her, I'll let you know that, or I'll let her know that you're looking for her. So you wait, looking around for her, and probably at about 5 o'clock, she would come upon the group. It's about 5 p.m. now, and she says, sorry, I didn't realize we were leaving so soon. But I'm ready to go. It's getting late. Do we want to leave in the morning, or shall we depart now? She says, I'm fine traveling by night. I actually prefer it, but I know you all can't see very well.
If you don't mind leading us, I believe we'll be fine. And if we have torches, I don't think it will cause any problems anymore.
I can see fine.
Dale says, we'll most likely camp for the evening, but I think Zerx is right. We should use what daylight is left to begin traveling. He says, even with dark vision, it's very hard to navigate at night because you can't see far and you can't see well. At least not as well as when one has light. Alright, so the group begins traveling, making their way across the plain. Give me a d20 check. Dale would ask Zaquine, how good is your perception? Oh.
My what?
How good are you at seeing things? I need someone to scout for me.
It depends. I'm not exactly the most versed at twigs and leaves and dirt.
He nods. He says, I know that you're fairly skilled in stealth, right?
A little bit.
He says, I was thinking maybe you could stay off to the front or the sides of the group and keep an eye out for danger while we move. As sort of an early warning.
I'll do what I can.
Alright. I would say 60 feet is a good distance to keep you far enough away and have you watching, but I'll leave that up to you, how far you want to get from the group.
I can do 60 feet.
Alright. So you head out front about 60 feet and kind of stay low in the grass as the party moves. So the first day is obviously a partial day. However, Dale does a fairly good job and gets a lot farther than you thought you would have been able to get in a day. Go ahead and spend rations for the first day, which is just... Oh wait, no, never mind. He's giving you Goodberry. So he casts Goodberry at the end of the day, gives you all some food, and you kind of bed down for the evening. Nothing happens, but you might all spend some time speaking in the evening. Iara has been pretty quiet. She doesn't actually say much to the group, just kind of keeps to herself. Does anyone want to do anything or say anything, or should we just speed time along?
So we're camped now, right?
Yeah.
I want to play some cards.
All right.
I have a card say. Let me.
Are you trying to play with anyone in particular, or just in general?
Just in general, I'll sort of set it up and invite the party around.
All right.
Play some cards really quick. We'll run off the bed.
I'll play with them, but I'm gonna keep an eye on them. Don't you dare cheat, you little. I know you will.
I don't cheat. I don't cheat. I'll play fair.
All right.
I insight check them on that.
I don't know. Nalo, I don't think you... Do you cheat, or are you...
I am not cheating.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not cheating.
So-
I'm just playing.
I'm not cheating right now.
I'm cheating.
Hmm?
Right now, no, I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating.
All right, so give me... I'm going to say, if the two of you are playing, give me intelligence checks. Nalo, since you're proficient with the cards, you would have proficiency bonus.
I'm dumb.
Intelligence checks.
And I assume you're just playing for fun, right? You're not gambling.
Fun. And would I add proficiency to that? I don't know how to add proficiency.
Well, if you're proficient, you add your proficiency modifier, which at this level I believe is +2. Plus your intelligence.
So then I guess I'd have 12. Or no, I didn't actually roll yet, but I did.
Yeah, you just do an int check and add 2 to it. Alright.
Okay.
So the 11, yeah. So you play a couple of rounds, and Nalo basically comes out on top, winning more games.
Hey, let's go.
Iara says, I've never seen cards before. My game of choice is dice.
Oh, I also have dice actually right here. Let me link them.
She says, perhaps we could play a few rounds. Maybe a little wager.
Well, I don't have any money, but I could wager something I have, perhaps.
Oh, what sort of things do you have?
I suggest Song. He's good.
If you beat me, I'll sing some music for you. Some coveted songs written by my master.
And if you beat me?
You'll have to show me a weapon or two that you have that you use.
She shrugs. She says, sure, I can show you some weapons. So she picks up the dice and starts shaking them. So I guess this would probably be intelligence again.
Could I do perception on her or insight to see if she's cheating?
Sure. Give me it would be more perception to see if she's doing something weird with the dice. It doesn't look like she's cheating.
Alright. I'll roll intelligence here.
Alright, so over several rounds she is able to win. She says, haha, you owe me a song, and she smiles.
Alright. Well, I'll pull out my my lute and I'll I'll do performance, I guess. My loot.
All right, so you start singing a nice little tune around the campfire. Your scout seems a little bit annoyed. He says, "This isn't exactly keeping our party quiet." But Iara says, "It's fine. I don't think anyone close by will probably have met you already. So, unless there are wolves or something out there." And he just shrugs.
Scurry goes, wolves.
She says, there's probably wild animals in the area, but they generally avoid groups of people." Alright, so you play a nice little tune. Not your best performance, not your worst. And what type of melody you're playing? Something like relaxing, invigorating?
It's lighthearted, but it has sort of more mellow tones and maybe a
So
couple
more
melodies.
like more humorous?
Well, no, it sort of transitions between sort of lighthearted and more solemn
Okay.
sections. Kind of goes along.
Alright, so you soothe the group with your song, and Iara gives you a little clap at the end. She says, "Very well done."
So final ask if she can see the loot.
Okay, yeah, I'll hand it to you.
She's just gonna play around with it.
Okay.
Yeah, is this a loot you bought? Something you made yourself?
It's a loot that I just have. It's from my master who gave it to me. So it's of decent make, not like incredibly like professionally made, but it's decent.
All right, so she's kind of examining your loot. Iara would looks like she's been drinking a little bit as she's been playing dice and speaking with all of you. She sort of looks over at Tal and would say, "You seem to be a quiet one, much more serious than the rest of the group. Where do you hail from?"
Grew up in a monastery, not in the civilization. I'm not used to other people. I guess.
You're not part of the Teruvian Empire?
I guess technically I am. But
She's-
I didn't come. I don't know. I didn't get a lot out of my family. Like, yeah.
She says, "Where is this monastery from? Or where on the map is this? What town is it close to?"
I don't know. That's. Is this the whole map here that we see?
This is the Teruvian Empire. If you zoom out, you can see all the cities of it. To the north, there's the Dwarven Empire, but none of the cities are marked. There's the desert nomads to the west, and the lizard folk tribes live to the south. Lizard folk and kobold. But,
So,
yeah.
what would make sense? Like, probably somewhere around daybreak or something.
Yeah, if you came from the northern part of the Empire, you probably had a lot of exposure to the elven encampments in the forest here and the Dwarven Empire to the north, if you lived on the edges of the north end of the Empire. I'm not sure where your monastery was exactly. You can make up that, like if it was in the woods or in the mountains.
Let's say more like mountains.
Okay, so yeah, maybe you had a lot of experience with the dwarves. So she nods and kind of says, the northern folk. You know, I've heard a lot about people up there, but I've never traveled to the northern parts of the Empire."
It's not much to look at, I guess.
She nods. Says, "Well, interesting. You're a strange little group, aren't you?" And she just sort of lays back and relaxes again, kind of getting ready to lay, I guess not sleep, but getting ready to kind of meditate for the evening. So the night would pass unless anyone else is doing anything.
Ozuquine's definitely going to try to play the lute.
Okay, so give me a performance check for the loot. Alright, so you don't do too bad. Do you have training with the lute?
I have a proficiency with it.
Okay, so yeah, you do a little tune on the lute.
Play a little bit better than Nalo did.
Yeah.
I will me and I'll come over and sort of like watch her and be intrigued.
What sort of song are you playing?
It's probably a common song.
So some kind of common tune that may have you all may have
Opera
heard.
Civil.
I've only got to hold one a couple times. I watched somebody play a lot, though.
Oh, who was that?
Who was it? I don't know. Some person that probably didn't know I was there.
Well, I watched my master. He liked playing the lute, although he was privy to just using his voice. That was his specialty, just singing by itself. He was really good.
The person I watched was pretty good, too. They played on the street a lot.
You do seem very concerned with others knowing your identity. Ayara would say to you.
Me?
Yes. You asked me several times about keeping your identity hidden. I assume you've had bad experiences with people finding out about your heritage.
I know I'm ugly.
And she says, I don't know if I'd say you were ugly, but you should have more faith in your looks. She says, you're not all that bad, and she smiles at you. I gotta stop drinking, she says, and she just kind of goes quiet again, going back to meditating.
Bitwine will hold the loot ransom. I'll give these back when you give back my lockpicks.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And I'll dig him out somewhere and hand him back.
Alright, so you hand back the lockpicks and trade them for the loot. So the night otherwise would pass pretty quietly. In the morning, Dale gets the group ready to start moving again. He doesn't do as good for the second day of travel, getting lost a bit and having to turn around. Give me a perception check, Sequine.
So if I do decent perception, where the fuck is it?
If you don't do decent, Carter dies.
No, not Carter.
So, as you're moving through the plains, towards the end of the day, you start to hit the farmlands, and you would see that to the south a ways there is a farm, and it looks like you can barely make out what seems like some hobgoblin soldiers assembled there. You don't think they've seen you yet, though, or your group, because you're on top of a hill. Well, actually, give me a stealth check to go along with that perception check. Okay, yeah, so you're pretty well hidden at the moment, and you don't think they notice you. What do you want to do?
I'm just watching. What are they doing?
It looks like there's some stuff being taken out of the farmhouse. You would see, looks like some of them are talking. Maybe this particular group has commandeered this farm as a base of some kind.
I'll let the group know about them.
Alright, so you kind of sneak back over to the group and tell them what you saw.
Should we hole up with them, or how late is it?
If someone sees them with us.
Dale, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I don't think we should be seen with them. Might give us away in Chaur.
Yeah.
Dale looks to Ayara and she says, well, I should probably go talk to them, let them know what the new plan is. I assume at this point they've just been trying to loot caravans and keep Chaur under siege. So
get that word spread out, please. I'd appreciate it.
She says, I don't know if you all want to come with me, but
we'll leave that to you.
she says, that said, there's actually a couple of them I will most likely need to find and talk to. I wasn't planning on coming into Chaur with you right away anyway, so this might be a good place for me to take my leave and go start talking to our forces.
Sounds good.
Alright, good luck to all of you. And once I finish what I'm doing, I'll find you in Chaur. So she...
Great.
Go ahead.
Oh no, sounds great.
Alright, so she takes off and heads towards their camp. And I assume the group is going to sleep for the evening.
Yeah.
Alright, so Goodberry is once again used to feed you. Give me a d20 roll. Alright, so it is once again quiet. You would spend the night sleeping in the plains, and I'll say in the morning, the last day, you would make it back to Chaur. So it is now the 9th, or wait, 6th, 7th, 8th. You make it back to Chaur around the evening of the 8th of autumn. The sun's going down as you approach the town. Several of the guards would see the group approaching and say, "Halt! Who's there?"
It is us, the heroes of Chaur.
They seem surprised and quickly come down and open the gates. They say, "We thought for sure you had met an end. You've been gone so long. What news do you bring of the hobgoblins?"
We have matters to discuss with the mayor, but things should be settling down for the best soon.
Says, "It's good to hear. We've still been sustaining pretty heavy attacks from them. Another caravan was lost trying to get supplies to us."
And hopefully that should be the last to suffer that fate.
He says, "Well, what happened? Were you able to drive them off, or?"
For the time being.
Yeah. We'd like to speak with the mayor.
Give me... So the guards are kind of curious and pushing. Give me persuasion. Or intimidation if you want to try to tell them to back off.
Oh,
I'll tell him to back off.
Oh yeah, her first intimidation roll, I think.
Yeah,
Let's see.
so Zaquine kind of puffs herself
I've
up.
been out up in the fucking woods for how fucking long? Move out of my fucking way.
As good as my persuasion.
Alright, so they seem a bit put off, but they just kind of reluctantly say, alright. Well, welcome back. So what does the group do? It's getting late in the day as you re-enter Chaur. It seems like the market is kind of closing down. People are going home for the evening. The guards are on heavy alert, watching all the gates. What does the group want to do?
I'd like to ask the guards if they remember when Shock left, how many people he took with him.
Yeah, are they back?
The guard says, yeah, Shock, he left a couple of days ago, but then he returned. The caravan master, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go find Shock and check on.
Says, yeah, he left with a small force. He said he was, well, he didn't actually tell us what he was doing, but I assumed it had something to do with the hobgoblins.
Yes, we'd actually like to go meet with him if you could tell us where he is.
Well, I assume he's in one of the inns, but I don't really know. He hasn't, he didn't really tell us where he was going when he came back.
And where has they put the bear cubs? I'm sure that was a wonderful note.
He says, yeah, they did come back with some bear cubs. That I do remember.
Nalo, let's go find the bear cubs.
Let's go.
Alright, so you're checking the inns?
Yeah.
Let's go. I say we go to the one that we've always been going to.
The Maplewood?
Yeah, that one.
Alright, so you head over to the Maplewood. You would find there's looks like a couple more people staying here than you're used to. Since it's late, you would hear someone singing at the bar. Lots of talking, lots of noise coming from the tavern. As you head through the front door, you would see the innkeeper there, who you haven't seen in a while. What's his name? I think Barney Hoppletoe. Or Varney. He would see you come in and say, "Ah, friends, you've returned. The
Yes.
heroes of Chaur. Welcome back." And actually a couple of people in the kind of meeting area, the main hall, huzzah! They raise their glasses and they come over to shake your hands. And Vernie says, "Well, welcome back to the Maplewood. I'm sure you have many tales to tell us of your adventures."
Yes, many tales, and in time. We've been out in the field for quite some time. We wish to just relax for now.
Says, "Well, I'll get your rooms ready. Go ahead and relax in the bar if you wish."
Thank you.
All right, so
Do you
had
happen to know where the others are?
others.
Shock.
Melody, Carter.
Oh yes, the big fellow. I think he should be in the tavern. I saw him go there. I think about an hour prior. He went there with that priest that he fancies, the woman. They have well, they brought back some bear cubs from their last expedition that we're keeping in the stables right now.
It's Winnie and Pooh. Oh, they're so cute.
But yeah, I assume he's either in the stables with the bear cubs or in the tavern.
Alright, let's go to the tavern first.
Yeah.
Or let's split up. I'll go to the stables.
Alright, so going to the stables, you do find in one of the stalls your bear cubs are in there. They seem a little bit sad because they're kind of cooped up.
I'd like to play with them.
Alright, so Nalo comes in and the bear cubs do recognize you. Are you the one with animal handling?
He is our only animal handler.
So actually they would be even more excited to see you as you were the one who was training them. Give me an animal handling check. Alright, so yeah, they immediately recognize you, run over and kind of sniff you and pat you, and very playful as you start interacting with them, maybe continuing some of your training. The rest of you go to the tavern, right? I'll assume that you do.
Yes,
so
sorry.
you would see in the tavern, Shock is at a table with Melody, with a couple of other folk who look like they might be some kind of soldiers but off duty. As Shock sees you all, he says, "Ah, friends, you're back!" And he runs over and gives you all a firm handshake with a smile. He says, "I was coming to help you out. What happened?"
Things have changed for the better. For the
He
people of
says,
Chaur.
"Well, that's great to hear. Why don't you sit down and tell me about what happened there?"
So I'll give him the whole regale of the tale, but I'll leave out all the bits of us working with them for now, until we can have time to talk in private.
He nods as you tell the story, and he says, "So, what happened to the Iron Tide? Were you able to drive them out?"
How would I go about this saying? It's like kind of, sort of.
He gives you a bit of a look. He says, "Kind of. What do you mean?"
Matters to discuss privately.
He sort of arches an eyebrow at you and nods. Give me a persuasion check. He says, "Why don't we why don't we take this discussion to one of the back rooms? And he motions for one of the servers to come over, and he says, "I'll take one of the private dining areas." And he flips her a gold piece. She nods and unlocks one of the back door areas, and kind of motions for you all to go in.
Where might Carter be?
Shock laughs. He says, Carter's fine. He's been a busy lad. I think he's asleep right now up in his room."
Don't you dare disrupt that poor lad's sleep just to throw him on his ass.
I wasn't gonna throw him on his ass.
He says,
Then what were you gonna do?
Nothing.
Other
Shock,
places.
Shock says, "You'll have plenty of time to beat him up in the morning." And he laughs.
You get him his morning beatings.
But he's been good. He's taken to work quite well. I was worried he'd give me problems, but he's been helping out a lot. So you, the group, along with Shock, kind of goes to this back room. Melody comes as well, and Shock says, "So, what's going on? You said you wanted to speak in private?"
The Iron Tide will no longer be causing problems for Chaur.
He says, "Yes, you mentioned that, but how did you stop them from causing problems?"
An agreement was made. They were betrayed by Blackwater. They were hired by Blackwater. And Blackwater also hired the Blood Hand.
He says, "You're working with them."
To appease and relieve the pressure off of Chaur, we do what's necessary, and the slaves will also be freed in time.
Give me a persuasion check. Shock seems conflicted when you tell him this. So, Melody says, "Are you sure you can trust him?"
He seems a man of reason and logic.
He could have killed us.
He could have killed us at any given time. We were captured. We were at his mercy. But he decided that his losses were too great, and he was better off leaving than staying. And he's realized the error of his ways.
So,
Also, he promised to stop
But
the
he-
attack, so we will see in the next few days.
I see. So, you're saying, wait, did you say something about Blackwater?
Blackwater and Bloodhand and the Iron Tide had an agreement, and Blackwater decided to back out and burn those bridges between those two factions. That is why the Iron Tide is here. They're
I guess-
attempting to recoup their costs that from what losses they've incurred due to Blackwater's failing.
I suppose that makes sense. I don't see why else they'd be attacking some frontier town. There's no real treasures for them to steal from us.
Apparently, that dagger is a set of 3 to open up the ruins up north.
Shock says,
The dagger, the ring, and an amulet of some kind.
"Are we sure that Blackwater's the one that backed out? How do we know that this Orcard didn't back out?" Or wait, did you tell him Orcard's name?
I did not.
Okay. So he says, "How do we know the Iron Tide didn't back out of this agreement, and they're just using you now?"
We
We
will find
don't.
out for sure because we don't. But if he honestly holds his bargain and the caravan stopped being attacked, then we will know for sure.
Give me another persuasion check. He says, "Well, I guess if it gets these attacks off the town, I guess it's a start."
We've also ensured the better treatment of the people of Chaur that they've captured and ensured that their freedom will be given to them once it's...
He says, "Better treatment." He says, we need to get those people released. The hobgoblins have no right to keep them."
Yes, but that's not something he can do right now without looking weak and there being chaos in his ranks.
Well,
Would you rather having roaming bands of hobgoblins of no bound to no person doing whatever they please, or one person in charge of them, keeping them with a tighter rein.
Slavery is legal within the Teruvian Empire. He should at least be paying them.
There's been arrangements for them to be compensated.
Did you make those arrangements? Or are you trying to be deceptive?
No, I thought we did because I was going to offer up some of our money from our treasure.
I don't think you made arrangements with Orcard.
Not Orcard. Okay, that was okay. No, I didn't do it out loud yet. My bad. I will retcon that if I can. I didn't mean. I thought I did say that.
All right. So yeah, Shock would say those men should have a choice, and they should be paid. I don't like the idea of our people being, or the townspeople being held captive against their will and being forced to work. He says that should be part of the deal.
I will see if we still have means to change the deal if necessary, and we'll see about doing that if it's possible.
He says so.
I'm assuming that there are people that would be willing to do the labor for him for pay, would they not?
Shock says, "Oh yeah, I'm sure that there are people in town that need work, but I mean that's something that they should have the right to choose for themselves, not be forced upon them by this warlord."
No, I will discuss this with them and see if we can find them, because that was something we did discuss about possibly hiring laborers instead of slaves.
So how did you convince him to stop attacking? Did you pay him off?
We massacred. Like, I want to go into his inventory. How many how many ears do we have, and orc heads and stuff like that, axes and all that? Then it wasn't like 60 something.
Yeah, you have quite a few.
Yeah, we killed about 60 something plus of his men, and I think he was starting to feel the how much that was hurting.
So are they leaving? Are they heading back to the desert?
No, they're still going to finish their excursion, but they are not going to bother the people of Chaur anymore. They do plan to go to the ruins after they acquire the pieces to see what treasures lie there, and then return to their lands.
The ruins? What ruins?
There's the ruins of some undead city to the north they were speaking of.
This is to Issyk?
Yes, that
place is a death trap. Supposedly there are hordes of roving ghouls that eat anyone that gets close to the city.
Oh, it seems like one way that Irontide gets taken care of.
He says, so what, so are they just leaving now to go to Issyk to look for some treasure? Is that what's going to happen?
They need to get the other two pieces of the puzzle first. We need to acquire the ring from Blackwater.
Are you helping them with this?
That is part of the deal to free the people of Chaur. We don't like working with them, but we do what's necessary to help your people.
He says, so how are you intending to get this ring?
And that is something we have to discuss and figure out.
Well, do we know where it is?
And on Blackwater's person, I would assume.
He says, wait, so we're stealing from Blackwater?
Don't see much other choice in this matter.
Give me another persuasion check.
I'll use one of my things on that one.
So Shock seems a little bit hesitant. He says, I'm not particularly fond of Blackwater, but he is a citizen of the Empire, and his family is extremely powerful within the Teruvian Empire. I don't know if it's a good idea to be trying to steal from him.
You also understand that he is the reason this has happened to the people of Chaur, are you not?
He says, yeah, if what you say is true, and he...
Don't we have a letter or some kind of contract to prove that?
I don't think so.
No, we don't.
No, I don't think Orcard has any proof. That's just what he told you. He says, without any proof of this, we're taking a lot on faith here. But even if what you say is true, and Blackwater hired Orcard to come here and work for him, he didn't hire him to siege the city.
No, but Blackwater backed out of the deal or did something to somebody some along the line backed out of the deal, so they're trying to recoup their costs. And
What
the
about
people
the
of
rest
Char
of
will,
you? You've all been really quiet. What do you think about all this?
Bears.
If you think Blackwater will do good for this town, why don't you ask him to give the ring to Orcard so he releases the slaves?
You saying that to Shock?
Yeah.
He says, "I don't think Blackwater much cares of the opinion of some caravan master.
but
I don't."
does he not care about the people of this land, or no?
Shock shrugs. He says, "We could ask him ourselves. We could bring this to him and see what he has to say."
Or ask the mayor.
So Scurry would kind of say, I don't know if it's a good idea to be revealing our hand like this. If we start telling everyone all this information about Blackwater, supposedly bringing the hobgoblins here, we don't have any proof. It could make us a lot of enemies really quick.
This is
Shock
true.
nods and says, yeah, this is a sticky situation to be sure.
The politics of people who have more going on behind those doors than we do are aware.
He says, Scurry says, I think we have to be really careful about how we approach this. I don't know if we should go accusing Blackwater to his face. If we are going to steal the ring from him, that would make it much harder. And Shock says, I don't know if we should be stealing from him. I think that would put us in a dangerous situation.
This time, I think I'll finish up with the bears and head back looking for the party somewhere.
Oh yeah, I guess Nalo isn't there. So, yeah, Tal's Equine. What do you think about all this?
Maybe
I'm just doing what I can to help the people at this point.
like, how was that underground party called? The red something? I
The
think.
Blood Hand.
Oh, Bloodhand, yeah. Maybe we should deal with the Bloodhand first. Maybe they have something to say.
Shock nods. He says, that might be a good way to go. The Blood Hand, well, they don't have the best reputation around here, so it's not like if we go accusing them of anything, they're going to run to the police, because they'd probably get themselves in just as much trouble. If they were involved in all of this, then I think they would be actually the easiest party to pin all this on, Scurry says. If we wanted a scapegoat.
And are they not just as networked? They're more in splinter cells, aren't they? So you've all got a point.
He says they're dangerous. I definitely wouldn't recommend making an enemy out of them unless we had to. But I think if we wanted to make an enemy, well, actually, I wouldn't even say that. They could be just as dangerous in certain places as Blackwater and his family.
Exactly. It's basically which poison do you want to drink?
So as you're talking, there is a knock at the door, and Melody would answer, and you would see Nalo standing there smiling. She says, Nalo, come on in.
Did you lose any fingers?
Nope.
Progress.
But I gained a lot of love.
The Shock walks over and gives you a handshake. He says, Nalo, my friend, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jack.
He says, I was just getting caught up on all the happenings. We're trying to decide what we want to do.
I don't know. Whatever we do, we have to make sure it gets done fast because it's a pretty precarious situation. We don't want hobgoblins here any day longer than they have to be.
I agree. It sounds like you've at least stopped the attacks on the town and the farms, maybe?
Yes, that's that is being taken care of right now.
As we speak, we have an informant telling the hobgoblins to back off.
So I guess at this point, you all have to figure out your next move. I
there-
don't. Or go ahead.
Is there any way we can make the Blood Hand go against Blackwater? I don't know how we would do that, but that could be an option if we can figure out a way.
Yeah, it seems like there's too many things that could go wrong with trying to pin them against each other at this time.
Maybe we should speak with Cithril.
What
What's
would
it
we tell
going-
her?
He says, I don't know. That's the thing. Are we trying to make some kind of alliance with the Blood Hand, or I mean,
There's no love between the Iron Tide and Bloodhand and Blackwater. They all hate each other at this moment.
yeah. I'm not sure. She could be planning some kind of attack on Blackwater herself, for all we know. Or maybe she's got people trying to steal the dagger from Orcard.
This is true.
Probably both.
That said, do we want to let her know what we're up to?
No, I believe we need to keep this to ourselves for now.
Ideally, we'd find out exactly where the ring is, because we have no assurance that it's actually on the person of Blackwater. Could be in a drawer somewhere or something. For all we know.
I feel like something.
You gotta talk to Blackwater.
All right. Well, Shock says, I don't know. I think it's something the six of you need to figure out how you want to approach this. But of course, I'm here as an ally if you need anything.
And that's why we refer to you, Shock. You have always done right by us, and we always wish to do right by you. We do not wish to just keep anything hidden from you.
I appreciate that. I wish I could tell you the best path, but all of these seem like very risky things to do.
And we understand if you ever feel the need to step out and no longer be a part. We understand. We do not wish to put you in unnecessary risk.
Are you kidding? I'm having the time of my life. This is way more interesting than just walking the roads with the caravans. I probably will get back to it at some point, but for now, you have Mel and our help. And she nods and she says, "Of course, you saved my life. We're not just gonna leave you high and dry."
Ah, so you two are on nicknames now, huh?
And she might blush a little and say, "I don't know what he's talking about."
You know, Shock said you were the love of his life.
She says, "Yeah, he tends to exaggerate." She gives him a loving punch to the side. He smiles at her.
Yep.
I bet he thinks he's all that. He laughs. But if we're being serious, yes, we are here for the group. We have no intention of leaving y'all.
I believe if there's a way for us to get rid of the mercenaries he's hired, see if we can get them to abandon his cause. That might be the best possible result for him.
Money is money.
Yeah.
Morals seem to fall by the wayside.
Do you? How? I wonder how much it would cost for information on the movements of going out of that manor.
What do you mean?
From Cithril, buying information shouldn't be too much out of the.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, maybe you could talk to her. She might be able to help you with that. Shock says.
Something to discuss and think about. We will. I don't think there's anything else for us to discuss at this moment.
Shock nods and says, "All right. Well, I'll be around, of course. I am probably going to be here at least till the caravans start up again, which will be a while. I assume even if things do get safe, we might take a little bit to just make sure the roads are safe before going. So you'll have Mel and our help together.
That is greatly appreciated.
All right. Well, we're gonna retire for the evening, but you all just let us know what we can do.
Will do. Thank you again.
All right. So it's pretty late. It's the evening of the 8th of autumn. Probably getting close to 7 in the evening at this point. What do you all want to do?
Carter?
What did you say?
Pester Carter.
You're gonna go wake up Carter?
He's gonna go scare Carter awake.
Sure. Maybe Zaquine goes and hangs out with Carter a bit. Who is very
As long as no one stops her, she's probably gonna go mess with him.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna stop you.
I'm gonna wait for the screams.
Most likely, he is very tired, but happy to see that you're alive, as he hasn't seen you in a while, and he'd probably just start telling you about all the boring things he's been doing with helping out Shock and maybe some combat training he's had, learning to use his weapon better, all that stuff. Is anyone else doing anything?
I don't have history trained, but about how long roughly has this sort of settlement been existing, Char?
Give me untrained history check. With the 10, you want to say it's, you think you remember hearing something about Char being destroyed at one point in the past, but then rebuilt, but you don't know really the dates or how long Char's been here. You know there are some really old structures that predate Char being built, like the founders saw these structures here. There's before they built the town. There's the church, the barracks, and the 4 towers, which you don't know much about, but you think they predated the building of the town. Like they were already here when the town was built.
Well, guys, I wonder if we could somehow get a floor plan to Blackwater's house, his mansion. Maybe we'd be able to sneak inside and kidnap him or something similar.
Scurry says kidnap him. Wow, that's ambitious.
Well, we just go after the ring, but there's no reasonable way we'd be able to find such a small object
He says,
without.
Go ahead.
No, continue.
He says, well, I was thinking of trying to lure all of them, Blackwater and maybe Cithril, together at once and try to take it from them then. But I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah. We also have no assurance that if Blackwater were to leave the city, that he'd take the ring with him. Although he might leave the settlement and take the ring with him, and then bring it out away from, well, people, I guess.
If I had to guess, I don't think he would go anywhere. He's probably going to stay in his halls, but I don't know. We could try to lure him out. See what happens.
Might be able to use Scurry's plan of holding the dagger for auction under false pretenses.
He says, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe that would lure both of them out, because I'm guessing Cithril knows about this place too, and she's also trying to collect the 3 pieces. I wonder if she has one of them. Now that I think about it, if she has connections to a black market, she may have been able to acquire one of the pieces through her contacts.
Who knows, maybe this little doobob I got here might be one of the pieces.
It's true. It could be.
I do feel like do not fear the undead is kind of some importance.
It could be connected, if not exactly one of the main pieces. Could be sort of similarly connected to Isaac, but a crazy plan just came into my head. It's absolutely nuts. But I was thinking maybe we watch Blackwater's mansion for a while. He's pretty rich and wealthy, and as with every wealthy person, they have their own cooks and whatnot. So we just kidnap one of their cooks, send Lurks in disguise, and then have him burn down the building.
You want to
And
burn down Blackwater's estate? Ah, that is crazy.
it is crazy, but well, in a burning building, you have to grab the thing that's most valuable. So he'll first grab the ring, bring it out. And in the chaos, we might be able to grab a hold of him, steal the ring.
Well, I suppose that is a possibility, but it seems like a bit much. If
It is crazy.
we become arsonists and start burning down buildings and towns, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
It's a pretty crazy plan.
the cook becomes an arsonist. Nobody else gets caught, and I get out scot-free.
Maybe, but it's risky.
It is something that we shouldn't do unless last resort. Can't really figure out any other way to get Blackwater.
Aye. Well, we should definitely talk about it, come up with a plan, and then see what we can do to execute. But maybe it is getting kind of late. Maybe tomorrow we come at it with fresh perspectives after some rest.
Yeah.
Sounds,
Right.
sounds good.
Instead of setting up a fake auction, we could tell both parties that the other party bought the item for a higher price.
Kind of have them turn on each other.
Yeah.
Well, it might be good, out of character. We might want to discuss this with Scurry and our new party member when they get back. So, unless someone wants to do any town stuff, this might be a good place to call it and wait for the party to assemble to come up with the plan.
Only thing I would want to do is to see if the wizard could identify that thing for us.
Yeah, but I don't think if you only have 100 gold, it's not worth it. I think.
Want to know the old man that we were buying the potions from?
Might be able to
Oh,
buy-
Yeah, I mean, if he can lend me a pearl.
Well, no, I mean he seems to be an old wizard. Like he should be able to do the identify spell and have the resources to do it for us.
yeah, you're talking about, what's his name? Doru, right?
Yeah.
So he's probably asleep right now. The group does have enough gold to lend Tal to buy a pearl, but we might want to wait till Scurry is here just to
Yeah.
make sure he's okay with that. Because
Yeah, that's
technically, it is the group's money, so it should
That's
be.
why. That's why I was having to see if we could hire or pay him to identify it for us.
Can I beg Scurry for a bit of money to go buy treats for the bears?
I don't. I think Scurry. Don't even. I think Scurry's all on board with the bears. I think he would just be able to give you money for it.
Yeah, I
Alright,
mean, the Scurry might just say, well, let's just split the money now that we're back in town, but I just need to get his buy-in. So that's what I was saying. Hopefully next time we can get him here and figure out how we're doing everything.
And see what he's got in the bag of everything, so we can see what we can divvy up. Because we got so many ears and stuff to turn in.
Yeah, which will get some more gold. So
If
why
you
don't
need
we...
money for the bears, you can ask Zach.
Well, Zach's upstairs playing with, what's his name?
Carter.
Carter.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
hanging out with Carter.
Use animal training to train Carter too. So like we have like the trio rushing to battle.
Alright, well, why don't we do MVP votes, and next week we'll figure out what the plan is going forward, split the gold, and do a bunch of that town stuff as we go into the next part of the story. Alright, I got 2 votes. did you message me? And God damn it, Zach. Alright. Alright. It looks like you can't vote for me. It looks like Tal with 2 votes, your MVP. Congrats. So you get an inspiration point. And yeah, we can pick up next time, and we'll have a new party member, so that'll be interesting. I'll see how they're coming in and decide how we're approaching this next part of the story.
So, have you ever had a party join the Iron Tide, or no?
Yes.
You have. Ooh, wonder how that turned out for them.
I've had many different outcomes to this political thing.
3 parties to choose from, basically.
I'm just curious. Have you ever had a party that was able to unite all 3, or no?
No one's tried that yet. I have had someone unite 2 of the factions. Actually, several people did. No one... I also had a party that made enemies of all 3 factions. And I also had a party that...
no, best way to that.
yeah, like, there was a group that tried to just basically do everything without making any friends. Which is, I mean, anything's possible, it's just a lot harder. So there are a lot of different ways you can approach the story. But, yeah.
They had survival and arcana skills.
Yeah, I mean, obviously more skills give you more options, but yeah, it's interesting how different people have done it.
We aren't playing with Strixhaven, right?
With what?
Strixhaven, the new book.
Oh, I haven't looked at that yet. Is there something from it you wanted to use?
Well, there's a 2nd level spell that I could learn next level that would allow me, like for a 2nd level spell slot, to get a proficiency for an hour.
That's cool as shit.
Interesting. I'd have to look at it. I don't think it's technically Adventure League legal. Not that I'm doing Adventure League, but I have been kind of basing a lot of my stuff off the rules for Adventure League. So I have to look into it.
Okay. Yeah, that would just allow us to bridge some gaps, I guess.
I feel like that does seem really powerful, just to suddenly be able to get a proficiency in any skill.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey,
I mean,
I stuck with this like an hour ago, but now I'm really good at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just proficiency, so it's not like you would have, like, the, bonus. I think the way I play proficiencies, where having training gets you extra abilities, that would make it really powerful. The way the core rules do proficiencies, where it's just +2, like, that doesn't matter as much. Because a lot of the way I do proficiencies in my game is if you have, like, say, history, you're likely, even if you get a shitty roll, to get a lot more information than you would being untrained. Because I feel like if you have put that much time into training in something, you should be better at it beyond just the +2.
It basically reduces the DC of it.
Yeah. Alright, I'm just taking some notes, but if you all want to take off, we're pretty much done for the day.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. That was a fun session, guys.
Yeah, and
Is
next time... Or sorry, go ahead.
Is someone doing journal?
Yeah, Zach is, I believe.
I am.
Yeah. So, yeah, next time we'll have the whole group here and we'll be able to figure out where we're going from here. Maybe split up the gold and do some town purchases.
Speaking of town purchases, I have a question for you.
Yes.
This is a weird one. So, how would you allow weapons to be made?
Yeah, you can craft stuff. Are you talking about like magic weapons?
No. I know I can't afford anything magical right now.
So are you talking about just having someone make you like something custom?
Yes.
You'd have
Um,
to have someone with blacksmith training, like a weaponsmith, could try to smelt you something, but it wouldn't be that hard to do. It'd probably take like a couple days.
the problem is the weapon I'm thinking of isn't in the books.
Oh, well, that's a little bit more complicated if you're going for house rule stuff. You'd probably have to do some in-world downtime research on the weapon, and then I'd have to look it over to figure out if it's actually balanced or not, rules-wise.
Oh, I'd leave it all up to you. First game I played her in, Zach got a pair of clawed gauntlets, and that was fun.
Hey, you guys haven't shown up yet.
Would you want to skin it to be something like a dagger, or would you actually want custom rules? Because skinning things is easy. If you just take the stats of like a weapon that exists and apply it to something else.
It'd be easy to skin, but
Like if you just want to have clawed gauntlets, you could just say that that would be the same as wielding two daggers. The only problem is they'd probably be harder. Well, I mean, I guess there would be some issue because usually with a dagger you'd have to use your hand, whereas if you just have claws on your hand, you could carry things while using the claws. So there'd be some stuff to figure out there.
I also understand that I would need to practice with said weapon to learn it.
It's something I could think about.
I just wanted to bring it up and ask you about it.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I would say we should talk more in direct message on Discord and talk about what the stats for it would be, and I'll try to figure something out as to how it would work.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, just message me at some point and we'll talk more about that.
Alrighty. I'll catch y'all later.
Alright, take it easy.
Yeah, bye.
Peace.
You didn't really need to hang around to hold my hand.
Who, Zerks?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, well. You know.
Well, farewell. Thank you for the game. I wish you the best of luck with your next one.
Alright, yeah, take care. Oh. My head is killing me. Alright, hope everyone had fun watching, and I will see you all next time.